forget that? Good morning. It is Miss V. I am here live. It's 11 a.m. to 12 on Radio on Fire. And again, this is your girl, Miss V. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for everybody who comes to my page, goes to Diamond K, radioonfire.com, and get familiar with all of our shows. Right now, Diamond just did this little collage that's like, okay, it's like lit. Okay, it's big hype. All right, so just make sure you get familiar with radioonfire.com. We are lit, but the team, so shout outs to the whole team. Shout outs to everybody that's on Radio on Fire, okay? But again, I'm Miss V, host of the V Mix Radio Show. I'm here at 11 a.m. to 12, nigga time. I'm here at 11 a.m. to 12 on Saturdays. I want to first thank my last Saturday guest, Mike Even. I really enjoyed him. I had so much fun. Right now, the 3 a.m. tape is out right now. He's a excellent artist, an excellent freestyle. That's what he does. I just say, and it's just so natural. I really enjoyed him. It was just very, I was to say icy. Like it gave me chills, like sitting by. And I sit by all of you. All of you are so talented that have been on the couch. I'm not trying to take it away, but it was just something different. It was a live performance, a live freestyle. So, but right now his 3 a.m. tape is out right now. He is getting a lot of views on the freestyle. Check it out. He definitely gave big love to the VMix and Radio on Fire. So get familiar with Mike Even. Again, you're welcome anytime to come to the show. I really enjoyed you. But I'm very into hip hop and rap. I grew up on it. Like that's something that is a part of our culture. It was very informative when I grew up. It definitely changed over the years, and it's very refreshing to see people who keep the craft as it was when we grew up. Absolutely. So I'm really into the culture. It's kind of like even if I wanted it not to be, it's kind of like it's here. It's just like a part of me. So I love what y'all do. I love what y'all do. So thank y'all for coming to the radio, coming to the VMix Radio Show. I really appreciate y'all. If y'all want to know the artists that been to my show other than Mike Even, I actually have a current playlist out right now that's on the vmix.com. So you can go to the vmix.com and get familiar with the playlist of some past artists that been to my show. I am gearing up to release the second playlist. So right now I do have one out on Audio Mac, and you can get straight to it. It's very easy. You go to the vmix.com, you go to the Get Familiar Volume 1 tab, you'll click that, and it'll take you, it say listen here, you'll see everything, you'll see the tracks. You can actually click the tracks and go to the artist page on IG and everything like that, so you can get familiar with the artist. So again, go to the vmix.com. I got information if you want to be a guest, if you need blog services, you need some promotion. And also Mike Even's freestyle is on the vmix.com, so you can get familiar with Mike Even freestyle if you missed it from last Saturday. But again, shout out to Mike Even, 3 a.m. tape. Shout out to all the artists that have been here. Baltimore is like a little small renaissance going on right now. I think we're doing it. It's a lot. We not just a wire. I said that last Saturday, but we not. We got it's lit. Okay, it's lit. But right now I am gearing up next Saturday. Shout out to everybody that's doing the back to school giveaways. I think that's lit. I've been seeing a lot. I actually got a few that's actually on the day that I'm giving it. If you can make it out to all of them, do it. But definitely try to make it to 215 North Calhoun Street. I have partnered up with the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club, Franklin Square. So if you can make it out Saturday, my event is 2 to 6. I will have refreshments. It is free giveaways. Also face painting. Also performances. Vendors. Brown Boys Read. Fat Daddy Lemonade. He is a 10-year-old entrepreneur. 14-year-old entrepreneur K Sweet. She bakes cookies and cakes. So you do got to buy the vendor, okay? If you want something sweet, you gotta buy it, okay, from the entrepreneurs, okay? One is 14, one is 10. We gotta support our babies. The youth is our future, so that's all we got, okay? So Brown Boys Read isn't, that's Candace Smith. Shout out to Candace Smith, one of the sponsors. That's informational about brown boys needing to read, I would say.
Absolutely.
But of course, we'll get a little bit more information that day. But it's going to be nice, simple. I'm definitely going to have a speaker. Shout out to everyone. Chris Matthews. Shout outs to Mr. Dave. Mr. Dave actually is looking for members. He's looking for volunteers for the Boys and Girls Club. Please get familiar to help him with the kids. I want to say that he can give you more details than I can. You can actually call him at 410-728-4888. And yes, this is off the dome, okay? Did you see that?
Off the dome.
This off the dome.
Just flowing.
This was flowing, okay?
Just
all right?
flowing.
So hit Mr. Dave up, the Boys and Girls Club. Again, that's 215 North Calhoun Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21223. The question is, do I just come? Yeah, just come. I do want to give a chance for everyone to get a book bag. So I don't want moms to come and grab 2 and 3 book bags. You have to have a child because I want it to be fair for the people who might straggle in at 5:30, or 5 o'clock. Some people do work on Saturdays, so they might can't get their babies until 4:30. So I don't want moms to come and think they can grab 2 and 3 and 4 book bags. So that's what I want the volunteers there for, to help me actually distribute.
You got it. You in your zone flow.
The book bags to make sure that everyone has a fair chance. I do want to say that I have over 100 book bags. That does include, again, shout outs to PayPal for that sponsorship as well. That does include a few drawstring book bags from PayPal. It does include some drawstring book bags from Brown Boys Read, but we definitely have backpacks as well. I want to say we have we have 100 backpacks, but including the drawstring backpacks from PayPal and Brown Boys Read, and some other sponsors that may not have came in yet. I want to say we definitely have well over 100. So again, it will be refreshments. It's free. It's from 2 to 6. It's Saturday, August the 17th. If you want to still give a monetary donation, what that will go to is food, to make sure we have enough food. I was doing beef hot dogs, and the people who don't eat beef hot dogs, they can get a turkey sandwich, and we're going to do assorted chips, individual wrap chips, and some water. But again, if you want lemonade, Fat Daddy's Lemonade will be in the building. K-Sweets will be in the building if you want some cookies. Support our babies. I will shout out to BJR, everyone that is supporting the back to school giveaway, Mirrors Lighthouse. Shout out to Mirrors Lighthouse. Right now, if you are interested in getting any lash strips or extensions or bundles, hit up my girl Mirrors Lighthouse. She definitely has a deal. I actually have a few lashes on me. So if you see me, I am selling these lashes for $10, okay? And I do have them on me, so just hit me up. Okay, yes, I got a little, Shout out to Mirrors Lighthouse. Again, like I told you, she had a great soft launch. So get familiar with Mirrors Lighthouse. If I forgot you, Carrie's Hardware. That is a black-owned hardware store located on, I want to say 2102 West North Avenue. That's the area that I grew up in. They've been established since 1986. Thank you so much for your sponsorship as well. So please get familiar with Carrie's Hardware. They're again located on 2102 West North Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21217. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. We will have some performances. Shout out to Universal Cheer Explosion. They will be performing, and also he's looking for more babies to join. It's a traditional cheering squad. So if y'all come August the 17th, you will get a lot of information and get familiar with the V-Mix, of course. But again, thank you to the Salvation Army for your partnership. Thank you to everyone that helped me as far as sponsorships. Mario Taylor, thank you so much for your sponsorship. Ms. D. Satterfield, Nakona McNeil, everyone that's helping. I know that Mira has been working and trying to get me sponsors with the supplies and food. So everyone who is interested in trying and coming, I thank you so much. But it is going to be fun. It is going to be fun. I don't want this to be the last one. I want y'all to come, see what I got going on, and then we can make it better next year. So if you come, you're like, oh, V could have did this. Help me do it next year, okay? Help me do what you think I can do better when you come to August the 17th back to school giveaway next year. It's got to be a consistent effort. And this, I know, wow, why back to school event? Why not? We need more and more and more places for the kids to be busy and to go, even if it's for 4 hours. Each day, I don't know, but it's a lot of things in the community. Marilyn Mosby has something on, I think, every Friday or every other Friday or every last Friday where they come and they do some theater and everything. I want to say that that's at the UB Blake Center. So it's things happening, but you got to stay in tune. You got to get out there and get the information. All right. So, all right, we got to get into my guests. Again, shout outs to everyone shout outs to Radio on Fire, like I said, the V-Mix Radio Show. Mike Even, everyone that been to the show. House of Diamonds. Shout out to the House of Diamonds. I won't be here next Saturday, of course, because I'm preparing for the back to school giveaway. However, on August the 24th, I have Sweet Teas 365 coming in. She's talking about her cookies, her pies, her cakes, her candies, homemade. She now has freeze pops. So shout out to the House of Diamonds. That's actually where Fat Daddy's Lemonade and K-Sweets is from. I'm very familiar with House of Diamonds. Me and her have collaborated. Sonia Speaks and Mr. Damon Speaks. We have collaborated to make sure that entrepreneurs are getting that light, getting that shine, that just due. being an entrepreneur is very hard. I'm an entrepreneur. It's not an easy thing. You're vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there for people that can sit and critique and judge and tell you what you need to do, what you shouldn't do, how you should do it. I know you used to hit me up like, B, take the camera out your crotch. Okay, that's good. That's good criticism. But sometimes people don't always give good criticism. So it's very hard to be an entrepreneur. You fail. I remember when I started the vmix.com, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have a little store on my site. That didn't work. But I didn't stop. All right. So shout out to House of Diamonds. Thank you, Mr. Damon. Thank you, Miss Sonia, for your contribution as well, helping me get vendors consistently whenever I need them. So get familiar with House of Diamonds. That's 1048. I want to say North Brantley Avenue. That's off the dome.
Off the dome.
That's off the dome.
You just flown. Off the dome.
All right. So enough about all of y'all. Enough about me. We want to talk about this handsome young man with his bow tie. I mean, every time I see him, he's fresh in the bow tie. I want to know how many you got.
Thank you. We're probably about close to 100. You know.
Woo! You got 100 bow ties?
You got to switch it up. Add some different flavor. Add some different flavor. Some days I match. Some days the intention is not to match.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you got like a personalized closet for him or a drawer? Or...
No, I just got like a space in my closet and I just hang them up and then I grab the shirt, the socks. Like today I just went with like some Space Jam basketball Bugs Bunny socks. And you flip it together and you make it work. It's no rhyme or reason. It's no method to my madness at all.
It's like an expression type of deal.
It's an expression.
Fashion is an expression. Yeah. I agree. What's up?
I'm here. Good. Thank you.
I interviewed you, WFBR, what's that, like a year or two ago?
It's been a minute.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What has changed since the last time I have seen you?
Well, number one, a lot has changed. Thank you, first and foremost, VMix Radio on Fire, Diamond K, just for allowing me to be in here today. And we were joking prior to the show, but I have to say this. In every joke, there's an element of truth that comes along with it. I've done a lot of interviews, but I've never made it to the couch.
Oh, you funny.
So I'm dead serious, V. So I feel like after I leave the pink couch, after I leave this couch, it's only one other couch to go to, and that's like Oprah.
Oh, don't do that. Don't put the pressure on.
And I said, Oprah's gonna say, Rashard, were you ready for this interview? I say,
Don't put the pressure on.
I just left the VMix, so
so
she
much.
prepared me so well. But yes, a lot has changed.
Thank you so
I'm an author. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm an author. I'm gonna go ahead and start with a shameless self-promotion right now. This is my first book. This is like my baby. Rashard Mills, Inmate 458627, A Man's Story of Mental Health, Love, Hurt, and Healing. So I'm an author, and that's what I've really been doing. The book dropped on June the 19th, and I've really been working to push it through not just the city. And my goal is to get every young man and every young woman in high school environment. I want them to be familiar. Your term. I want them to get familiar with the book, and I want this book to be jails, prisons, correctional institutions, not just here in the state of Maryland, but I want to take it abroad because I think it's a message in it for everybody.
Before I get to the title, why I'm not gonna say why Inmate 45, but what led for people that don't know, you are a licensed mental health therapist. You have a master's degree in community service. Services?
No, it's actually the way that Johns Hopkins titles it. It's community counseling.
Okay.
So I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor.
Radio host.
Yep.
You a speaker.
Yep.
This is your first book.
Yep. First book.
What led to being an author? That's something you always wanted to do. Just real
I
quick.
always wanted to be an author, but this was not the subject that I wanted to write about.
Okay.
And I think. Oftentimes that, not to get too spiritual on you, but God is
better. Anybody know y'all know be spiritual.
But God is literally my guy, and I think sometimes with God he'll do is God will put you in a situation, and then he'll say, you know what, this is the way that I want you to go, and I want you to go this way because you're in this situation, and on the road that you're in, you can only go one way, and that road is going to lead to me receiving glory. I wanted to be an author, but it wasn't that I wanted to go to jail as a result. I didn't want to go to jail in order to write that book. So my goal when we first met, I was actually working on a book. It was a happy hour book. I was taking all of my, happy hour, which is my motivational piece that I drop every Friday via social media, Facebook, Instagram. I wanted to write sort of a happy hour motivational book. But God said, I got different plans for you. So as a result, this book was birthed.
Okay. All right. So a lot has changed since I've seen you.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
So you visit before the book. You are actually one of the therapists that go to the jails to inmate. You actually visit inmates.
I was actually working at the Baltimore City Juvenile Justice Center every day, so I was providing mental health services to the young guys that were actually detained.
And what do that consist of, if you don't mind me asking?
It's just going in, providing individual services, meaning the one-on-one, and I was doing group services, and at one point I just fell in love with just doing groups, because obviously I love to talk and I love to interact with the young men. So I would just go to every unit and do a group, whether that was a mental health group, whether it was something community related was going on at the time. So just providing groups to them, and I loved that environment.
How did you now become an inmate 458-627?
So that's a great question. And the funny thing is, and I actually wrote it in the book, on June the 18th, I was working at the Juvenile Justice Center, going into that environment, but the next day I became an inmate. So here's the story. I was dating a young lady at one of the more notable churches, and I'll never say it. At the time, we were in a relationship, and I thought I was actually going to marry her. Some things went astray, and when I say astray, like really astray, found out that her and the pastor of that church, they had, sexual relations. I don't know if it was occurring while we were in the relationship or even prior to it. And a lot of things went, wrong. And when I say a lot of things went wrong, there were some things that I saw that I really didn't like, that I could kind of see. You can almost feel that something isn't right in a relationship.
Absolutely.
And my better sense said, Rashard, go ahead and exit now. But I thought I would, stay in and hopefully things would change. And they changed, but they changed for, obviously not for the better. So there was last year, I think this was in March of last year. That was a period of my life I was going through some things when my grandmother was sick. And I was really expecting this sort of support from her, right? That I had poured out support from her and I was expecting it in return. And, that never happened. So it was, we had an argument on like a Thursday. The next day was literally Good Friday. So we had a sort of you could say a disagreement in the morning. So I walked in the church and I actually walked past her. And I didn't, say anything. She sort of stopped and looked at me. And it was the 7 last words. And my mom was with me. My mom said, Rashard, that was kind of weird. Y'all in a relationship and y'all didn't say anything to each other. So later on that evening, I was actually working my part-time job. I was just driving Uber and my car ran out of gas. And I had called her and said, hey, can you help your boy out? And I thought this would be a no-brainer. She said, no. You carried me in such a way during church, you didn't say anything. No, I'm not going to help you out. So I got gas in my car and I went to her house and I knocked on the door twice. And I could see her looking out of the window. And she cut the lights off as if I wasn't even there, as if I didn't exist. And here's the interesting thing: as a licensed mental health therapist, I literally provide people with the skills, the tools, the tips, the strategies to learn how to navigate your way around uncomfortable mental health situations. At this point, I'm furious. Common sense said, Rashard, get in your car, just go home. So I had actually kicked the door twice out of frustration, jumped in my car, went in the house. So the next morning, I had called her about 40 times. I really wanted to get this level of frustration off, because in my mind is, I'm always there for you. You were never there for me. I was just, for lack of a better term, I was like heated. Like literally.
You break it. This is my term. You breaking bread with somebody. You sharing your body, your vulnerability with somebody. You opening up.
Right.
They know your ticks, your moves, and then they down the enemy. They now on the other side.
So I was heated, right? So I literally placed about 40 calls. So I had called her and I heard a voice, and this voice was it was a Caucasian female's voice. Said, what's his date of birth? And I said, well, that's pretty odd. Why is this? I hear a white woman saying, what's his date of birth? And we had gotten in arguments before, and she had threatened, the police, nothing physical, anything of that nature. But I drove past a police station in Baltimore City, in the neighborhood in which she lives. I saw her car outside of this police station. So I got out of my car and she's walking out. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like, this is crazy. Like, she runs in as if I'm chasing her. So the officer says, well, is this the guy that was calling? She said, yeah, that's him. So she said, leave. I left, got in my car. She got in her car. And we exiting the same driveway. And I pulled up next to her and rolled down my window. I'm like, can we talk? What is going on? Because this is so bizarre to me at this point. I'm like, literally bizarre. Before I can blink, 2 officers were at my door. Said, you are arrested for trespassing. Somebody asked you to leave a government property, you didn't leave. Okay, cool. So at this point, I'm detained for about 12 hours. I get out, and then, it's so chaotic after that. I realized, through trusted sources, that she was in a relationship with this pastor. And literally, I was getting played the entire time. I was getting played the entire time.
Y'all are not built like women getting played, okay? Men, I'm not trying to take away from this moment, but
no, I get it.
Y'all can't handle when we get played. I'm gonna say a couple cuss words for like a couple months.
For a couple months. You know
but,
what? It was the reason why I think it was so like disturbing to me, because I had like put all my cards on the table in the beginning of the relationship. Like, this is honesty, is truth. This is where we are, and I could sense that they had something going on, and his reputation obviously precedes itself to do such, and I could feel that something wasn't right, but I did not use my better judgment in this situation. So, once I was released and found out all of these things, she had a protective order against me, so I couldn't say anything. So literally, we're now in the house of God. Can't say anything to each other, which was cool, but we're walking past each other in the church, and it was like exchanging looks. And this thing got so chaotic, and somebody in my circle said, Rashard, you just need to, leave the church. And it got to the point that she had created this story and was so crafty at it, as if I wanted to physically hurt the pastor. So his armor bearers at this point were literally like looking at me and expecting me to make a move. And strangely enough, I know some of them, which are cool dudes, right? But like, this story was like, I'm the bad guy. And I was like, man, this thing is so crazy. So eventually on June the 19th, I'm going to court, misdemeanor. The charge is telephone misuse, right? Not a problem. So I had spoke with my public defender. I didn't even know that charge existed.
Yo, you see my face? All right, so you got it off my face, okay? Like,
right, I saw that. Yeah.
I know.
I saw that element of like, what is that? Like, I didn't even know this charge actually existed.
I shouldn't get drunk and call nobody.
Right, so the next time that you have a few and you want drunk down your
No!
ass, you just want to make sure that you are on point, because trust me, you can actually sit because of it. So I went to court. The public defender, had spoke with him several times prior. He said, V, this is a misdemeanor. You're a guy in the community. I had literally preached my first 2 sermons prior to going to court. First 2 sermons. You're a man of God, therapist, speaker, all of these things. There's no way that you're going to jail. They have bigger fish to fry. And I was like, cool. I actually had my show scheduled that evening. I was being honored with the community award later that week. Professionally, this period of my life was going to be one of the most productive. I was teaching public speaking at Morgan State University for that Upward Bound program, and things were just, my schedule was where I wanted it to be professionally, while I'm still going through the stress of this whole situation. It was no way in my mind that I thought I wouldn't walk out that courtroom. I walked in, the case is flowing just as I expected. The judge had said, well, you're a therapist. I got some guys in lockup that need therapy. And I said, for the right price, I'll see him. Courtroom is laughing. And in my mind, this is perfect, Rashard, you'll be out of here. So I had told my public defender in advance I wanted to apologize to her, because no matter what happened, I was wrong and I wanted to be accountable. But I wanted to be apologetic in an environment that my words would not get twisted. So he says, Your Honor, Mr. Mills wants to apologize. I'm looking at the judge because she's sitting behind me. And the judge says, I totally understand that you showed a level of contrition. The state's attorney, he was just really cool. Up until this point, he jumped up. If he was sincere, Your Honor, he would look at her. And the judge says, no, he didn't want to turn his back to me. And because of the nature of it, he didn't want to look at her. I can totally understand why he didn't look at her. The state's attorney called her up. She gave probably the most damning description of me that I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's what hurts the most.
And at that point, that hurts the most, but I knew it was with a certain level of intentionality. I knew at that point she was, I'm going to get him. Because even after, and I think this is one of the critical points, that we had saw each other out in public at one point. And because of, again, the nature of the case, protective order, I couldn't say anything. I act like I didn't see her. I was walking into a particular Starbucks, and her truck was parked in front of the Starbucks. I didn't say anything. And in my mind, I'll never know it, but I think that put it over the top. Like, whatever anger and emotion she had, it was, oh, he's not even acknowledging me now. And that sent it up. So I think when she came into court, that was her goal for that day. The judge looked at me and said, Mr. Mills, I look at you differently now. And he said, I'm going to give you 3 years. And I'm just, in my mind, it's like, oh, this is probation before judgment. 3 years or whatever. He said, I'm going to give you 3 years in jail. I'm going to suspend 2.5, and I'm going to give you 6 months. And in my mind, again, I'm still waiting for 6 months of probation or 6 months of something. He said, bailiff cuff him. My public defender said, can we get an appeal bond? He said, denied, bailiff cuff him. And literally the handcuffs, V, were on me so fast, before I can even
breathe,
blink, I was handcuffed. I mean, suit and tie, my normal attire. I'm handcuffed, and I'm actually going to the elevator at this point to go down to start the process. And I actually put this in the beginning of the book, that one of the things I instantly thought of is, God, I trust you. But I said, what about my car, my kids,
all praises to
my
the Most
life,
High.
and my house? But I said, God, I still trust you. And that's how this book was actually birthed. But in the process of birthing this book, and I want people to really get this book, and I think it was so much that I had to discover, like, about me, because as a therapist, I had to say, Rashard, well, what weren't you doing that you tell other people to do when you got caught in your feelings? So I had to look at myself, and I think I was about 80 days in, because I did 101 days in Baltimore County Detention Center, and I think I was about 80 days in before I can say, like, what was wrong with you? And in this process, I started to examine Rashard, and that's the nastiest thing in the world. When you have to start examining yourself, like I do it all the time.
Oh, I do it all the time. Right? That's why we here.
Like, look, V,
I do it all the time. I look in the mirror, baby.
I'm on the couch all day long with clients, and I'm just listening, and I'm just, I'm tuned in, this unbiased set of ears and eyes, and I'm just finding ways to help them, and I'm listening. But then I had to say, Rashard, what was wrong with you where you couldn't control your actions and emotions at that time? And then I had to do that. And I think that was like liberating for me, because for a while it was just like, and I love God. I'm a man of great faith. But for a while, I was like, God, let this karma hurry up and get her. Move fast with this karma, God. And then I was like, hold on. And I was like, Michelle, who have you hurt in the past that God has shown you grace?
Ooh.
So as a result of that, like, even, I'm just be honest, it was probably 2 months. I'm like, God, speed up with this karma. You taking your time. Get her. And then I'm like, no, that's not even right, because God has shown me grace and mercy throughout a variety of situations. And that was really the nature of the book. But it was like this whole self-discovery process while you're in jail. And it's kind of funny that working in a jail one day, and the next day you being there, you get a greater appreciation for the mental fortitude that it takes to survive in those environments. And I'm not even talking about the physical aspect, right? Because in a moment it can pop off and you can have to take somebody's life. Somebody might have to take your life depending on the situation. But the mental fortitude that you have to have being a grown man and somebody saying, Mills, go lock in. It's 10:30. Or this is what you eat right now. You're going to take it or you're not going to eat. It's like, wow. Like, in terms of getting a haircut in jail, you have to put in a request form. You got to write in a request form. And then you have to wait for a CO to come get you to go like down the hallway to get a haircut. And I'm like, wow, I'm not used to this. And that was all part of me, like this process of like discovering Rashard and like my impatience and my arrogance. And at one point I told a couple of correction officers, like, do you know who I am? And then I had to like check myself. I was like, right now I'm just inmate 458627. So that's all I am at this time. So yeah, that's my story.
I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you. I
want to say that I have been to the bookings before. It's a mental thing. I got to see the insides. The correctional officers don't treat you nice. Mm-hmm. They have actually an arrogance and they have a judgment on people that are actually there. They looking like
without question.
And it was an experience for me because my background is in criminal justice, but now I'm behind. And just for 24 hours.
Humbling, right?
Oh, it's very humbling.
Humbling.
And that's my thing. Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
So, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you love again? Did this stifle you wanting to pursue love or being in a relationship?
That was actually a great question. So, obviously, while I was there, my mom was like, I'm not even in that place to even consider it. And then when I got out, I was like, am I even ready to even get to that point, to even consider, let alone love, begin the dating process? I had to say, Rashard, are you ready? And I had to say, Rashard, it's an opportunity before you date again and fall in love to really clean out all of your garbage and be whole enough to be with somebody else. But I am ready to obviously love again because 2 weeks ago, at the Harlem Book Fair in New York, I actually proposed and I am I'm engaged.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So, do you have trust issues because it seems like the church kind of like flipped. The church, not everyone in the church, excuse me. Like some of you said the people that, some of the people kind of like chose a side.
Yeah.
do that make you have trust issues with the church or trust issues with
that? That's a great question.
I just want to go there, okay?
No,
it's
no,
a
no.
V-Mix.
That's a great
Like,
question, and I'm glad you went there. And I think for a split second.
Because it's to say this, I think the church and the community right now has this separation.
Absolutely.
So with this situation happening in the church, do this make you feel like...
I'm glad you asked that question,
all right.
Because for a split second, V, I said, man, I'm not even going to church. Now, this was prior to actually going to jail. So prior to actually going to jail, and it's in a book that I was church hopping. I went to different churches, and I never got a feel. And I was so hurt that I actually went to one church, and it was something that reminded me of the old church. And I literally put my head down, and I cried for an hour. And I felt some ministers walk over to me. They put their hands on me, and they prayed over me. I never saw their face because I never picked my head up to see who they were. Once I picked my head up, I instantly walked out of the church, and I never went to a church again until I actually got out. But this is the great thing of how God works. So at this point, I'm like, I'm done with church. If I heard Christian music, I'm just done with it. But I'm in church, right? And one of my bunk buddies, I'm an older white guy, my first bunk buddy.
Okay.
He said, man, do you believe in God? I said, absolutely. He said, well, here's a copy of the Old Testament. And it was like a mini version of it. And I thought I was going home. So I said, man, I'm not reading that right now. Then when I realized I was staying, I had a relationship before I went in, but it was something about when I knew I was going to be there, like the Word of God became this living and breathing thing that when every time I read it, it spoke to me in an incredible way. And I developed a better relationship with God to the point that I started Bible study on my tier. I went to services in the jail. For some reason, I was just, strangely enough, taken off the list, couldn't get back on the list. And I was like, cool, I don't need you to have a relationship with God. I have my own relationship with God. So I started a Bible study on my tier on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. Guys would gather around with the nasty jail coffee, your Pop-Tarts, and we begin the fellowship.
I get excited about
so I didn't. So at that point, it was like God was also telling me that you don't need the traditional four walls to tell people about who I am and what I've done and my goodness and my grace and my mercy. So I didn't need the jail church. Like I created it in my own way. Yeah. So.
Most High, I thank you. Thank you so much.
I
love you. Like more than anybody. Okay, more than anybody to come on the V-Mix. Sorry. I love you. Okay. Wow.
Craziness.
Wow.
Craziness.
So how did you feel, like, did you feel like, was you nervous that people was going to judge you because
Absolutely.
of this? Your family was, your daughters, your beautiful
Absolutely.
twin daughters was going to look at you different. Like, how did the family and your friends around, because we're going to get into some more stuff, but your family, like.
Yeah, so here's the interesting thing. Thank you so much again for having me on the V-Mix.
Absolutely.
Radio on
Anytime.
Fire, Diamond K. Thank you guys for having me. So I've been a part of a lot of interviews as a result of this book. But here's how I really know that you are like Junior Oprah, because we on the pink couch.
Thank you.
And this is how I know it, because this is the first interview talking about this book that I've actually had my kids in my presence. So one of the things that I struggled with for so long, and it's in the book, how would my kids look at me? My kids view me as a superhero. How would my kids look at me knowing that their guy had to put on the county blues and become 458-627, and I was gone their entire summer last year. I was gone. And I was gone as a result of being in the Baltimore County Detention Center. So that was a huge struggle for me, and I struggled with that mightily. And the only thing that allowed me to, I guess, get over the hump was really trusting God and knowing that when they get older and they can understand the full magnitude of the situation, that I can better prepare them what to be prepared for in a relationship, what a man should do at moments of anger, what you should do as a woman. So this situation is going to allow me to better prepare. But, going in the community as a speaker, it was just like a weight on my shoulder, because when I say, hey, I'm a speaker, I was at your place last year, but now I have this book. Okay, cool. What is the book about? And then you tell them, it's like, because instantly you think of physical, you think of something physical, and with the nature of the world now, it's like, oh, did he beat up a woman or something? I don't know if we want to, but some people have been incredibly still receptive, allowing me to come in and understand that now I have a greater platform, because now I can reach the men and women. Now I can reach the relationships that have gone, astray a little bit. I can talk to those people because I know what it's like. Now I have a greater understanding of mental health. I have a greater understanding of actually being an inmate. But I would be foolish to think that some people have sort of turned their way turned away from me as a result of what happened last year. But that's totally cool because it's not for you. But there's going to be many more people that I'll be able to touch as a result of it.
And this is the reason why you went with this title. Did you have another title in mind to give the same story, or was this the title you felt like was? Obviously, this was your number when you was there.
Yeah, I had a different title, but I don't think it would have served true justification for my story and my situation. And I think as a therapist, I think the subtitle, actually one of my friends, my close friends, he literally gave me my subtitle. He was like, man, you got to have mental health in there. You're a therapist
absolutely.
in this situation. And this young lady had what I found out, some severe mental health issues. And as a therapist, like I couldn't see this.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
No,
go
you
ahead.
couldn't see this.
I couldn't see this because I was stuck in that moment, in that relationship.
I say this a lot. When I have my talk your ish moments, to all my friends, okay, y'all know I do. I don't care. I don't wake up to bother nobody intently to take away nothing from anybody. I don't get up to do something or set somebody up intentionally. You gotta have a mental health.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Things don't always go emotions. You breaking bread with people. Some people it's hard when you're in a relationship. Relationships are hard, and when you exchange that energy, that's why I want to say I know the big stigma on don't have sex until you married is so important.
Ooh.
I think don't have sex until you married is so important for these reasons. You exchanging energy.
You know what
I'm saying? That's a big deal. That's why I take relationships and friendships it's so important. It's a big deal. That's why V-Mix don't have a relationship, and I put things out there because the man that I break bread with, that's a big deal. And I needed those relationships to get me to this point where I don't want to exchange this until I feel like you a big deal.
It's been solidified. It's been cemented, and the way to do that is actually to be married. And I'm glad. Like, I should pass the collection plate around because you preaching. I should give you 11%. You're actually preaching. I think it's so good that you brought that up, right? And I think for people that are watching, the V-Mix, that I really want them to understand that the following, that because we were sexual, I think that blinded me to a point that I didn't see these flaws. Absolutely. And I think that somebody watching right now, that they're in a relationship and the signs are apparent. I mean, the signs are all over like a New York City billboard to leave because this is not the proper relationship. And because you have crossed that line, you've been intimate. And your emotion, which I like, you exchange this energy. That's the thing that has kept you stuck. So I promised myself that I would never be intimate with anyone until I'm married because I want to see you on your bad days. I want you to see me on the days that Rashard is not, Bowtie. Rashard is just waking up with his sweatpants, drinking his coffee, and Rashard might have, a little attitude. Like, I want you to be able to deal with that, and I don't want the exchanging of energies to actually impede, a bigger thing, which is really understanding and loving somebody. And that line gets crossed when you're intimate. So I'm glad you brought that piece out.
Sharing it with your fiance, was that hard?
It was wild. It was wild because when I first met, when I saw her, it was instant.
You was like, that's my wife.
Now here's the interesting thing. I met her of all places. It was a church. And when I saw her walk into the church, I'm like, God, you playing with your boy. I'm like, come on, you set me up
you said
again.
Not again.
I say, God, you setting your boy up. I mean, my mind is right. Don't set me up. But it was instant. And once I got to know her, that's one of the first things that she said. She stressed, celibacy. And one of the things that she stressed is just being honest. So it was a matter of, Rashard, when is the opportune time? And when the proper time came up, I told her, she read the book. And she was like, it's cool. You were honest. I can roll with it. And since then, she's been like,
shout out to the fiance.
She's been, shout out to, I would say her name, but
no.
Social media, social media.
They don't need all that.
Is a new animal.
They don't need all that. It's definitely.
But when I had told her that, she read the book, went with me to the Harlem Book Fair. Obviously, that's why we got engaged. It's been helping me come up with creative ideas to move the book. She's been in the stores telling people about the book, and her support has been crazy. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because I believe, and this is just not for me in this book, but this book I wanted to be the blueprint that everything that you go through, V, and for your people that are watching, God is preparing you in the situation that you're in to get you to the other side. Because if you trust and believe, like right now, and this is not a shot against the other young lady, I think she's still, probably a really good person, just not for Rashard. I think everything that I wanted and thought and desired that she would be, she wasn't, but I had to go through that because I had to learn about me, and I had to detach myself from that, and right on the other side of that is what I needed.
Is the new Rashard Bowtie, the New Testament, right?
Yeah.
Like the Old Testament.
I like the way you said the New Testament.
You know what I mean?
That was good.
So what do you think, because we got this church issue in the community, what do you think the church can do to get that connection, you got the pastors all affiliated with the people they shouldn't be affiliated with. You got things that's just not in perspective or not in priority for the black church or any church. What do you think that the church can do to get us or get the community to... Do you feel like it's a missing piece with the church and the community?
I do. I think right now I don't think that a lot of people are running to churches because there's trust issues not on the level of mine, but I think that a lot of people see churches as being in the background as opposed to the forefront. A lot of people see pastors right now as celebrities, and they see pastors using their position, their calling for their own personal gain and not for the people that they were designed to help. I mean, we have too many pastors that view themselves as celebrities and superstars, and when people see that from afar, they don't want to associate with that, because if you are a shepherd and you're leading the flock, then you shouldn't be posting on Instagram more on me. Like, you shouldn't be running around being flashier than the local dope boy.
Right.
And I think that's a big disconnect with people. And then I think one of the things that churches have to do is churches have to get out of the thought process that church is the four walls. Like, you got to go where they are and get the people. Because once people build a bond with you and they build a rapport, they're more inclined to listen to you, right? If I'm a 19-year-old, 21-year-old, 25-year-old dude from Baltimore, and we know the culture of our city, and I love my Baltimore, I'm not going to get up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning to go to your church, because you don't understand my world. But if you meet me Saturday night, I see you walking around the community, you act like that you have some heart and you're not afraid to come down in the hood and just randomly talk, and you're not trying to rah, you just introducing me. You're not beating me over the head with the Bible and God, and you can make it relevant for me. I'm more inclined to listen. And I think you just got to plant the seeds. Churches got to continue to plant the seeds. But I don't see enough churches that are out. And strangely enough, again, I'm a Christian, love God, and I have a really great church. But one of the things I was always fascinated with, V, is the brothers from the Nation of Islam and Jehovah's Witnesses.
They've always been in the
streets. In the streets. And there's something about that that makes them more inclined to, they're going to be respected more because you see them more. They're in the streets, right? If something happens, people are going to walk with them.
But in the Bible, if you really get into the Bible, it doesn't talk about talking about Jesus when you go to church all the time. It's really about, that's another show. I ain't even gonna go there, but
you had your grandmother finger waving like,
y'all gotta really.
Boy?
I think the church gotta. It's not about always connecting. It was stories of David and Rebecca, and it was, but I don't know. It's just like the same stories they use in the beat over the. You know what I'm saying? It's the same stories. It's like. It's stories that's happening now that they can use. You see what I'm saying? And
it's modern day 2019 the world. You could use, and that's when you have to make it. You have to make it to the point where people can connect with it, and you got to find a way to do that.
What dating advice would you give right now with this? You now newly engaged. You have
give it to somebody else.
Yes, me. I need some dating advice. Well, I'm not dating right now. I'm scared, but some hope. Hope, maybe for the single woman that's like, look, I'm celibate right now, but yeah, I think that's me. That's me. So, like, what kind of dating advice would you give for the man? Also, our brothers and loving the black woman, black love right now, like how, a lot of women feel some type of way about the black love scene right now. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of men, like, they feel some type of way too. What would you give us? Like, it is a disconnect sometimes when it comes to a black man and a black woman.
The first thing I would say, and it's actually going to work equally across the board for a man and a woman, I would say discover who you are, right? Discover who you are. When I say discover who you are, really embrace, number one, have the insight and awareness to who you are and specifically your flaws, and be okay with sharing that information to somebody else, because everybody in the first 90 days you're going to put on your best foot forward. Like you have what I call a Halloween mask, and I think it's a lot of it is truth, but I think some of it is a facade as well. So I think when you are comfortable sharing the nasty parts of yourself and that other person can embrace that, I think that's the biggest thing. Because I think people go in relationships, they don't share the flawed parts of themselves.
Hey, y'all a little bit.
And you can't share the flawed parts of yourself if you're not at that point to understand, like, you got dirt and you got mess inside of you. But what is it? Like, some people go in like, I'm all good. No, nobody's all good. So discover yourself and be as whole as you possibly can. Some people go into relationships at 35V, 55, 75%, but think they at 100. And if you go into 75 and you could again share that flawed part of your life with somebody and say, in this area I'm flawed, and that person accept it, that's a good start. But really understanding who you are.
Drop your contact information. I want to buy this book. How can I buy it?
Absolutely. Well, for you, V, since I'm in the studio, I'm going to go ahead and sign this one right now. But for people that are watching the V-Mix, my girl, thank you for having me on the show. Ready on Fire. Go to RashardMills.com. Rashard Mills, RASHAD Mills, MILLS.com. RashardMills.com. Go ahead and get your book. And the thing that I like to do, V, I really like to make a connection with people. So if you purchase a copy of the book, you say, man, I grabbed your book, I watched your interview on V, let me know. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Rashard Bowtie Mills. I want to personally sign your book for you. And for people, now I'm just doing a little promo right here. And for people that are in the educational system or in jails, correctional facilities, prisons, please, by all means, get in contact with me. Rashard speaks at RashardMills.com. Rashard speaks at RashardMills.com. I would love to have this book in the hands of everybody at your facility, because there's so many angles about discovering yourself, anger management, and just so many things that I think it can be a benefit and a blessing. So by all means, I would love to get this book, like I said, all over, not just Baltimore City, not just the state of Maryland, but worldwide. But right now, RashardMills.com. Go grab your book.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How long did it take? Like, did you actually finish it in jail? Did you come out and finish it?
No, I started the process there.
You started the process. Okay.
So in jail, you obviously don't have access to a lot. So you have these like little pencils. I mean, I'm not even talking about a whole pencil. It's like a half a pencil. So you just,
and I was like, you play the lottery with them little pencils.
Right.
You know what your grandmother got around.
Exactly. So I'm writing that. Let me play 1, 2, 3 box. It feels like I was writing down my lottery numbers, right? So I would just jot down ideas, and when I was writing down my daily Bible verses, read my devotion, I was memorize verses. If something came up, I was like, oh, I can put this in the book, and I can put this in the book, and I can put this in the book, and I would write it down. So when I got home, I had papers like this. A lot of them were devotionals, but they were parts of the book. And then, I just sat in, literally, I turned like my bedroom in my house into an office. I'm like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna just bang this thing out. And that was the most traumatic part, where I had to relive everything as I wrote it.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
something about the Most High, when He wants you to sit still, you gonna sit still, okay? He gonna sit you still.
Yeah.
Something about the Most High, like, okay, so if I wanted to be an author, just start writing.
I would say start writing.
Okay.
Some people think that, I mean, obviously there's formulas that you can go by. But I think you just need to start the process of writing, whether you set aside an hour a week, whether it's 30 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, but start to write and then let everything work itself out. But so many people get caught up in the formula of it all that they just don't do the work. Just start writing.
The process be too long.
Yeah,
right.
Just start writing,
So what other books do you read besides your own, of course?
Wow. I read now, because obviously I am an author. I read a lot of other authors that have come across my way. I just read a book. I don't want to get her last name wrong, but it's sister named Takia. A book about, it's called Saved and Depressed. She was going through some things as it relates to mental health, and she's come out on the other side and just telling a fabulous story about, a failed attempt at suicide in her life, and then how she's able to help people. So I just read a lot of other, I'm in this phase of just like motivational books and things of that nature. And I read a lot of stories, obviously, now about people that have went to jail or prison, and then the other side, that story gets so much sweeter. And actually, one of the great ones, V, is former Commissioner Ed Norris. He has a book about his situation when he went to jail. It's really, really good. So that's the kind of books that I'm reading right now, and I'm really getting into the audiobooks as well because I'm on the go. And speaking of Baltimore, I just finished, well, not just, but maybe 3 weeks ago, Chris Wilson.
Hey, Chris.
Chris Wilson from Baltimore, incredible story. Listen to his audiobook. That audiobook will...
Is that next for MA4? You putting it on audio?
Oh, yeah, we going to the studio. We going to have the audiobook.
So you're doing audio. That's what I can expect. That's my next question. So will we expecting an audiobook?
I have a workbook actually attached to it as well.
Sequels?
I don't know about... Actually, the way the sequel is working now, it will be some things that happen in the book that I may be able to spin off into something else. But the audiobook is next. And before I really start the process of the second book, I have some concepts in my mind, but I really want to push this to
as a play. Ooh, all right, I'm gonna shut up.
Don't jump. Don't. Okay, right. You're in my brain. So
all right, I'm gonna get off.
That,
all right,
that opportunity has not been presented to me yet, but I've heard it a few times. Like, man, this would make a great.
I want to be an actress.
This make a great play.
I want to be an actress.
So maybe I can have V in it. I mean, you look like you got some vocals, so maybe you know.
In the shower.
Okay. So maybe I have V in it singing some hooks. I don't know. So it's a lot of things.
What's your process? What is your process to stay motivated now? Now you're out. You hit it big. You came through. Inmate 4, 5, 8, 6, 2, 7. You know. We know it's going to be audio. All right. You clear like, look, I'm going in the studio. This is going to be an audio book. What is your process like? Who do you listen to? What you listening to right now? Any artists? What you do?
Well, number one, the thing to go back to the original part of the question, what keeps me motivated is I think that number one, that I have kids that they can never see dad like go back to that place.
Absolutely.
And my ultimate goal is to elevate them to a place where they can live a different life as a result of the work that dad has put in. I have family members, like particularly a father. I'm 41 and I've had a father locked up almost 30 years of my life, off and on. And when I go out and speak, I keep him on my back because I'm like, I want my man to see that I couldn't do it, but my son was able to do it. And then when he gets out, like, I would love, ideally in a perfect world, for me to be speaking in jails and prisons, and I'm bringing up somebody who's, done over, almost 3 decades.
That's definitely going to happen.
I want to take that to the next level. So they keep me motivated. Obviously, my fiance and the support she provides. But as far as music, strangely enough, I've really not gotten away from hip hop, but I do listen to a lot of motivational stuff. Obviously, some gospel music. But right now, I always liked him before. Our stories don't connect in a certain sense, but his motivation. I'm listening to Meek on a whole...
Okay, I thought you were going to hit me with Nipsey. Okay.
I listen... obviously, I listen a lot to Nipsey, but Meek, and I had the opportunity, because I can't sit still to watch TV. Unless it's like seeing
I'm not a big TV person
but
either.
I watched
Free
Meek,
stay abreast.
the documentary. I watched the first 3 parts on called Free Meek.
Okay.
As they follow the story.
I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It's just amazing. And the things that he went through, I didn't know he went through that much as a result of the legal system.
Oh my God,
but I looked at it from the perspective of, and I connected our lives in this sense. Charges are totally different. But that before God elevates you, he's going to test you. Right? He's going to test you on a whole new level before he elevates you. And then once he elevates you, your job is now, he's elevating, what do I do? Now I got to go back and whatever situation I went through, I got to help people in that same situation because now I have a higher platform. So now you see Meek being interviewed by Gayle King. Now you see Meek on CNN, and Meek is not talking about, the latest collabo with Rick Ross. He's talking about prison reform. So now he's using his name and his platform to really have the justice system look and say, this is not right. Let's make some tweaks here. So Meek is going to be a benefit to a lot of other people. And that's when I'm listening to him now. It's like, Rashard, God has used you in your situation. He's going to allow you to be a benefit and a blessing to a lot of other people. But I'm just listening to Meek on a whole nother level.
What's up. I like Meek.
Hold up, wait a minute. Like that's in my mind.
Now that just gets you extra hype when you hear it now.
So it's funny, like when I'm out and I go to events and interviews, things of that nature, I try to get there an hour early. So I get there and I got my headphones in and I got the book bag and I look like a nerd. You wearing a book bag. And I see some people looking at me like, he's got a bow tie on, but he's like, I'm in my zone.
Hold up.
I'm in my zone. I'm in my zone.
Outside of being an author, you are a radio host. Awesome Guard Radio, right?
Rashard Mills Show every Tuesday night, 7 p.m.
So what's up with that?
I just love it. My show is even different now. It's a different energy. Before I went in, now my show it's a different energy, and the energy is really using that platform. It was before, but I'm trying to elevate it, use that platform to have guests on that somebody can look at them and say, well, if they made it through this or that, I can as well. So the show is growing, and I'm just trying to get it to, a different level and just loving it. Just right now, I'm just, loving life. It's still ups and downs, but one of the things that I will always say, and I got this bracelet, and I got it engraved on there, alive and free. So my mindset is no matter what happens to me right now, I'm alive and I'm free. So being alive, obviously, I can, deal with anything, and then being free, I can deal with anything because, when I wasn't, it was like, oof, that was hell. So now I'm alive and free. I can deal with anything come my way.
What would you tell your 12-year-old self?
Oh, you was doing your homework. God, what would I tell?
I always do my homework.
God, what would I tell a 12-year-old?
That's why I need to make my show syndicated.
What would I tell?
My guests be lit. Thank y'all for hitting me up.
What would I tell a 12-year-old Rashard? He wasn't Bowtie Mills at that point, Rashard Mills. You know what I would tell a 12-year-old Rashard Mills? It's probably not going in the direction that you think. Love yourself. Love yourself. So many choices and decisions that I made that were detrimental to my life during different periods, it was a result of not really loving myself. Love yourself. And the more and more I do therapy with young kids, I see you got kids 10, 11, 12 that they really don't love themselves. 17,
It's
18,
so
19.
so
love yourself. Yep.
Do you allow your children to be on social media?
They have YouTube pages.
They good girls. I'm just saying.
They have YouTube, and they looking at me now. They're actually in the studio looking at me. So they have YouTube pages, and I wanted to further that, but I think I'm actually going to pull back. When I say further, I wanted to give them full reign to be on more, like on my Insta stories. I had time with them, but I don't want them associated with that. Like I want them to have their own world, their own personality. And people are mean these days.
Oh hell yeah.
So I just at this stage in the game, I want to shield my kids. So unless you catch me in public or you know me on an intimate level, you probably won't see the girls on social media anymore.
So no to social media.
No to social media, and I think that's tricky for me. Because, obviously what I do in the public's eye, you're a public figure. Like if V walk out here now, oh, that's V. And people expect you to always be a certain way.
I kind of am, though.
Yeah, they expect you to be, right?
I kind of like, I'm like this about everybody.
Yeah, so I just want them to be shielded. Because it might be a person that may not like Dad.
My mom told me when I was their age, and, it was still trendy stuff, even though we didn't have social media. But it was still styles, French rolls, finger waves. It was still stuff lit, Like I never got a pair of bamboo earrings. Somebody want to buy me some bamboo earrings? Real ones, gold ones?
What song was that? Bamboo earrings.
It's a few
at least 2 pairs.
LL. And she said this to me. If you do everything now, Nene, what you gonna have left?
I heard that.
If you do everything you want to do at 12, at 10, at 15,
that.
and you turn 18, you gonna already look like you 20. What you gonna do now? I said, I think I still look young. Sorry, I mean no offense to your fiance. I'm just having my own moment. Look, but look, it's just like it's strategy. I think it's timing. Like everything is in its place and in its time. And trying to grow up fast is not good. And I was always late. I was late with wanting to be an entrepreneur. I was late with boys. I was late. I was late with makeup. I was late with everything.
You weren't late. It was perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Sometimes I be like, damn, I should have been to the V mix, but I think this V is ready. This V right here is the V mix. The other V was like, what? I had some insecurities. What you say?
So it was a process.
Yo, yes.
It was what they call like the pruning process.
When you don't love yourself and you got insecurities, it's going to be projected out. I don't care if you try to suppress it. I don't care if you try to hide it. If you got issues and insecurities, it's going to come out
Without question.
In some type of expression, some type of form.
So that's why it was so important for you. You talking about your own journey to get to a place where you knew these things, right? V can understand herself. Let's say God put you on a syndicated V mix.
You hear that? I was just thinking that in my head. When y'all gonna make me syndicated?
But here's the thing.
Y'all stop playing.
What if somebody got out of line and V wasn't ready to handle that situation properly? So now you elevate it, and the fall is much worse when you from here down as opposed to here down. So it's a pruning process. So that's why I'm so glad that this happened to me.
Well, we gotta get our little show on our own and do a little show. What you think? I always have a good show with you.
I'm happy to be here, man. The couch.
You like my switch though from WFBR?
You know what? See, this is the part of it that's just like
nothing changed. I still book my guests. I'm very responsible for everybody to come through. The only thing that changed is the couch, and I don't have any control over music. Cause that was my little thing on the V Mix. But you like it?
I like it.
Happy birthday, Diamond K! It is Diamond K's birthday today, so make sure y'all hit him up. He is Team Leo, okay? But I like it too. You like it?
I like it.
Dope.
Yeah.
So this is one. I think we've been talking for a good minute, but why is it important to be an entrepreneur?
You control your own destiny. Literally, you put your life in your hands. You create freedom. But I mean, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Not a bad thing. It's a good thing, and then it's a challenging.
Hard challenge. Okay.
It's a challenging. It's not bad. Let me rephrase that. It's a challenging element associated with it. So for me personally, as being an entrepreneur, even in the world of therapy, it's like it's fee for service. So I always joke and say, if I don't kill it, I won't eat. So I have to see that client in order to get paid. But I'm in a place now, like I can create additional time to see my kids, right? And things of that nature. So I can make sure that if a kid gets sick or they need me in school or they forget lunch at camp, which they do all the time, and say, Dad, you work from home on Fridays. Can you bring me lunch? Which they do every Friday. They over there looking at me. I'm like, all right, cool. I can go do that now. But I think it really, for me, I would never been there if I hadn't went to where I went, because I was under the 40-hour scope. And then when I got out, opportunities happened. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna try to control my own destiny, and that thing is hard, but it ignites a new hustle that you'll never know is there. Yeah, it'll put a new fire under.
I just feel like everybody got something to sell inside, or something to say, or something. Even if they're not a big vocal person, I just feel like everybody got it. But they don't choose it.
Everybody's got a gift.
But you don't think it's to be an entrepreneur?
I think everybody has the potential, but here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't think everybody has the faith to jump out there.
Ooh.
So my experience was so great for me is because I always said that was like the worst of the worst in my life. So I said, now I can't fail. I can't fail at anything I do now, because to me, this wasn't failure. It was learning information, but this was like the bottom of the bottom. So if I made it through that, then okay, I think I can make it if, sales are slow, my clients canceling, or whatever the case may be. I can make it because I made it through the worst.
Ooh.
So now that I made it through the worst, like nothing else could get me.
Me going to the bookings for 24 hours was definitely a turning point in my life.
Yeah,
it totally was a turning.
It'll change your life.
One of the turning points in my life, and I was like, I felt like at that time, I felt like I embarrassed my family, myself, and get the big kicker. One of my professors was bringing one of their classes into the jails to show them the inside. Because mind you, my major is criminal justice.
Did he see you?
I think I kind of made sure I turned my face
wow.
like this.
Yeah,
and that stuck with me. I was like,
yeah, that pulls at the heartstrings.
So when I seen it, I said, oh shit. But I was getting released around this time, but still, it was still like, ooh.
Yeah.
I can't, I ain't working for this. This is not what I'm gonna do. This is not me. This ain't me. This ain't it. So I just thank you, Rashard.
Well, thank you for having me.
What do you want to leave people to know about you besides being an author, a father, a newly about to be a husband, and you working on your audiobook at RashardBowtieMills.com, correct?
RashardMills.com, yeah.
RashardMills.com, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
RashardMills.com, go and get the book. What do you want us to know about you besides your being an author, Awesome Guard Radio? Anything? Like, what do you do just to kick it? You ain't getting prepared. You ain't
funny.
Motivating.
You know what? It's funny. Most people would not think that because I'm in the community a lot. Every day I'm working with people, doing therapy, speaking in the book, and I'm always in front of people. I probably enjoy more downtime, like when I can get it, than most people would ever imagine. Like, that's people me. Say, I always see my man dressed in a bow tie. I love days where I can just throw on my sweatpants.
That's me.
And my fuzzies, not big fuzzy slippers, but my nice slippers, and just walk around the house and chill and drink my coffee. And some days I don't want to have anything on my agenda. I really don't. Like, I want to be able to get my old man nap on, wake up, eat, exercise. Right?
I take naps.
So
okay?
people probably don't know that. Like, I schedule naps. Like an old man. Like Sunday.
Yo, that is hilarious.
My kids will tell you. We call them the after church epic nap. After church.
You got a name for him.
That's
why I looked at you like, you really got a name?
Probably about 1:15 or so. Oh man, epic church naps.
I think I can agree. I love naps.
Yeah.
I love the dress down. Yesterday I was out with no makeup on. I had a t-shirt on. I don't even think I shaved. Like I was just like out. I mean, like my underarm was still hairy. I was just out like running out. I took a shower. I just ran out after work. Like I like to be down too.
Yeah, so
I
people
like
probably wouldn't realize that. I like to just dress down, throw on a hoodie, sweatpants, and just chill.
What's your favorite chapter in the book?
Ooh, one of them is I was actually working on working in a trash dump. It's part of work release, like sifting trash every day, and it's a part in the book, and that was incredibly humbling. Yeah, smelling, urine and feces and such. But I talk about I had bullet fragments removed from my leg in the jail, and like literally, I think I heard the audible voice of God for the first time in my life when the bullet fragments got removed from my leg, and I was walking back to my cell, and it was God was saying, I was literally skipping, and one of the CEOs was like, man, what's wrong with you? It's 4 o'clock in the morning, you just got bullet fragments taken out of your leg. And I was saying, I heard God was saying, Rashard, I can remove anything out of your life that you thought would never be able to come out because it's been in you so long. I just had to get you by yourself and get you distraction free. So,
Don't make me mess up my makeup.
Yeah, I had bullet fragments removed. That's one of my favorite chapters.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And I get to read it tonight. Which chapter was that? It's like I'm not gonna start from there. Get familiar with Rashard Bowtie Mills, Awesome God Radio on Tuesdays at 7.
Yep.
Get familiar with his inmate 458-627. That's on his website, rashardmills.com. I'm gonna get used to this. All right. He has over 100 bow ties. Yes, he does. Okay. Just thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you
for being open. About this story, like I think, thank you.
Yeah, it's a must. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank
you for the pink
You gotta come back and get familiar with
V-Mix
on Radio on Fire.
Yeah, I made the couch.
Whatever, you gonna make more couches. I'm just put me in your suitcase. I'm coming with you. All right.
Roll with me.
All right. So I won't be here next Saturday. I will be at the back to school giveaway, 215 North Calhoun Street. You can come. Get a book bag for each child. Mine means no, you cannot have 3 for yourself. Sorry, no. They got to be with you. Yeah, I'm kind of like, strategic. Yes, I am. So just come and have fun, have a good time, meet with me, get familiar. I do offer promotions, blog services, promotional packages. I do host events. Just let me know what you need when we meet, and we can start getting ready for the 2nd annual. Shout out again to everyone who supported my ideas. Thank you, Diamond K, for always having my back. So it is a good move to Radio on Fire. I'm happy to be here. Of course, I have a lot of things that I am working on. Playlist Volume 2 is coming out. So I gotta send some artists some information because I want to extend where I release my music. I just don't want to have it just on audio mat, and that entails I need more stuff to get things, more materials or more things to actually make that happen. And being an entrepreneur, if you don't have a consistent sponsorship or capital, it's hard. I still have to pay bills, things of that nature. So being an entrepreneur is hard, but it's not going to stop. I still want to do things for the artists, and even yourself. Like I have some ideas for the artists that's not artists, meaning musical artists that I want to actually release to you all as well. So just stay tuned for the V-Mix radio show. Again, I'm 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Saturdays on Radio on Fire. The show now is streaming right now on Diamond K. I'm live on Facebook. I know he's going to throw it up on YouTube, then I'm going to throw it up on the vmix.com. But if you pay to be a guest or want to be a guest, you get an hour promotional video. You get to cut that up. You get to sit with me. I give y'all a nice flyer. That flyer was lit, though. Shout outs to DJ Twiz, man. Y'all better get y'all flyers made through him. He's lit. Okay, that was a nice flyer, right? Mm-hmm. I know. So it's definitely, all that information is on the vmix.com. I actually have that on the vmix.com. If not, you can hit me up at the vmix@gmail.com. Today is the airframe, right? Right. I was about to say the Artscape, but I messed up earlier. And also, everybody hit up Diamond K. He is taking Cash App, right? For your birthday today? No, I said that. He said sure. All right, so hit Diamond K up for Cash App.
He said
sure. Today's his birthday, Leo season. Shout out to all the Leos out here in the building. Okay, when your birthday?
November the 15th. It's a national holiday.
Oh, you a school?
Yeah, it's a national holiday.
My mother's is the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
My father's is the 12th.
The city will shut down. Everybody, schools will be closed. The whole night. Yep. Government buildings shut down.
November the 15th.
National holiday. Yep.
All right, y'all. We gone. Drop your contact information by yourself because you do your own promo. Then we out. I see y'all August the 24th. Sweet Teas, House of Diamond.
RashardMills.com. Go grab the book, Inmate 458627, A Man's Story of Mental Health, Love, Hurt, and Healing. Give me a follow on Instagram, Rashard Bowtie Mills, Facebook, Rashard Bowtie Mills, and let's stay connected.
Hey, see y'all August 24th. Ugh.
Always a pleasure.
It is.